So today I am going to talk about Luis Suarez, and for this past week there has been a lot of rumors surrounding that Luis Suarez could potentially be the next big name that is going to be coming to MLS out of Europe, and that there's even rumors saying that the team that most likely is going to get him is coming from the Western Conference and is a team that is chasing for playoff position. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of look at these five teams, and I will say that pretty much all but one team is actually going to be in the Western Conference out of these teams that could potentially get Luis Suarez, because again the hype is definitely at its all-time height about how there's been always that talk that Luis Suarez could potentially come to MLS, going back to a couple of years ago when there's a rumor that he has shown his interest of coming to MLS, but really now it's at its all-time peak, and that there could be a possibility that it can happen. I mean, if Gareth Bale could come to MLS after just numerous years of him coming to MLS, then I have a feeling there could be a case that Suarez could be that next big name player coming out of Europe and joining an MLS team. But we start off with number 5. And this might actually surprise you a little bit, because this kind of goes against what those rumors have talked about, how it's a Western Conference team and a team that is chasing for the playoffs. And then, of course, is NYCFC, who, of course, plays in the Eastern Conference, and they are currently one of the top 3 team in the East right now. So, of course, it doesn't make sense, the fact that you would think that they would be in for the Luis Suarez Sweepstake, right? Well, you might not be correct, because there has been rumor that NYCFC could be chasing Luis Suarez, and especially it kind of makes sense with the way that Tati Castellanos have move on from NYCFC, and I know NYCFC seems to be moving into a direction where they're going to continue to develop a lot of those young attacking players with the likes of Talis Magno and Santi Rodriguez, but in that number 9 spot, it's really Bear, the one that is kind of the one that is passing the torch down as the main number 9 of this NYCFC team. And while Bear has definitely shown that he has started to look like the Bear that we saw in his first year with NYCFC, where he of course scored 14 goals that season, and he had not only a breakout year, but a guy that looked like he was the future for this NYCFC team in the number 9 position. And then of course in injury basically happened to him, but he started to find that form again with him scoring some goals, including in the last game that what looked like was the farewell tour for Tati Castellanos. So yeah, again, it makes perfect sense that why not NYCFC just go from Tati Castellanos to Luis Suarez, because if they can get Luis Suarez and they already have a very, very good team, this could be a team that could defend MLS Cup. Like, when you look at the talent of this team, it's definitely good enough to defend MLS Cup, and you add to the fact that Luis Suarez could be the case. I mean, or could be in this team. I mean, they're basically just trying to one up LAFC of how LAFC already have a team that could be an MLS Cup contender, and then recently they got Gareth Bale and got even stronger. And that, yeah, again, even though I know it's against what maybe people said, that he's interested in playing a Western Conference team and a team that is fighting for playoff position, don't be surprised NYCFC might be a team that he could join. Because remember a couple of years ago of a certain guy called David Villa play for this team? Yeah, he also came from La Liga, and he turns to be one of the most recognizable name only in the league, but also just scoring goals for fun every single time he played for NYCFC, and I can definitely see that could be the same case if Luis Suarez come to this team. But now at number 4, I'm going to say Portland. Now, if this was maybe when the Timbers were still in that bad form, I think they would have been right up there near the top. But recently, the Timbers have been in much better form, and also they seem to finally found the answer in that number 9 spot. And Yaroslav Nishkoda really have been in a red hot form. But there still could be a case that they could still go after Luis Suarez, especially they could go with a 2-striker system with Suarez and Nishkoda being in that spot. Though again, I think the only reason why I don't think the Timbers are that high is that I don't think Saravisu really usually play with a 2-striker system, and that again, Nishkoda has really been red hot lately, and that feels like that number 9 problem that the Timbers has had is maybe moving away, and that's kind of their least of their concern of them trying to get themselves back up the standings after a slow start to the season. But again, you never no, it could still happen, and especially I've heard a lot of rumors of certain amount of teams that is looking to try to get Luis Suarez. The Portland Timbers have been one of those teams that is eyeing for it, and I've heard their name in multiple in those talks of potential team that is going to get Luis Suarez to come to MLS. But now at number 3, there you go with Nashville. So despite the fact that there was a Tom Bogert tweet talk about Nashville are not interested in Luis Suarez, and even though Tom Bogert is one of the most credible source in MLS, I don't think that's entirely true just yet, because I feel like for Nashville, like when you look at this team, it's a team that I think will definitely benefit if they have Luis Suarez. I mean, they do have a number 9 in CJ Sapong, but you can definitely see that Sapong has suffered a bit of a regression this season, and it's not a big surprise. I mean, I feel like last year with him scoring double-digit goal, that it was not going to be sustainable. Like, we've seen this before with CJ Sapong having a career year, but he always tends to unable to follow that up, and that, for Nashville, imagine if they have a combination of Suarez, Mukta, Sapong, and Leao in the front four. Boy, oh boy, that is going to be a deadly front four of what already is a very good defensive team. So yeah, there could be a case that Nashville could be interested, and especially Nashville also fit the category of being a Western Conference team and being a team that is in the mix of making the playoffs and just above the red line. Yeah, there could be a case that Nashville could do so. And especially, this is also a team that's not afraid to spend money, though, not most of the time not in a good way, because remember when they decided to sign Ake Loba to a DP contract? Yeah, that has turned out to be one of the worst designated player signing, not only in Nashville's short history, but also one of the worst DP signing we have seen in recent years in MLS, because it's safe to say that Ake Loba not only hasn't even got a lot of game time with Nashville, but also just have not been performed and at even anywhere close to being a DP player or even a temp player kind of quality. But now at number 2, I'm going to say the Seattle Sounders. And again, this makes perfect sense because Nico Lodeiro. I mean, there's been talks of Luis Suarez potentially is going to join his countryman in Nico Lodeiro there, and Lodeiro is going to try to lure Luis Suarez to Seattle, and that I feel like a couple of years ago when I first talked about the Luis Suarez kind of rumor, I maybe have talked about how he could potentially go to Seattle because Lodeiro is trying to lure him there, and that it would make perfect sense to do so here. Now, obviously, the one thing that is going to be a bit questionable coming into this is the Sounders going to go with a 2-striker system, because you're not going to bench Rui Diaz in favor of Luis Suarez. So yeah, is Suarez going to play alongside with Rui Diaz? Is Schmetzer going to try to do that? Because I don't think Schmetzer have usually used the 2-striker system a lot. He usually go with one number 9. So yeah, that's going to be interest to see that if they do get Luis Suarez. But again, the Sounders makes perfect sense because 1, they are a team that's trying to get above the red line, and 2, it is a team that is known to sign some well-known names in MLS, and 3, the Nico Lodeiro connection is definitely there, and that again, yeah, I think there could be a case that the Sounders could potentially sign him. But now at number 1 is the LA Galaxy. And I think this one makes perfect sense in many ways, where, yes, I get that they have Chicharito, and yes, I get that they have Dejan Joveljic, and in some way they also have Kevin Cabral, and so far it seemed like Joveljic is the one that is carrying the weight in terms of the number 9 spot. But I feel like this makes perfect sense because, 1, it's LA. I mean, the Galaxy is going to always be the one that sign a big name player to not only get butts in the seat, but just kind of is the formula of the LA Galaxy since its inception. Like, there's just been so many well-known players that has been play for the Galaxy in not just the last 10 years, but pretty much in their entire existence. And it just makes perfect sense, the fact that they would sign Luis Suarez after knowing what just happened in their crosstown rival, when their crosstown rival decided to one-up them and signing Gareth Bale. So yeah, I think, again, the Galaxy, it would make perfect sense. And again, Western Conference team, a team that is in the playoff run, and especially, anytime when you have these kind of big name European player, or at least in this case, a big name South American player currently play in Europe and considered to be one of the best striker in the world in Luis Suarez. Usually the destination that they go in MLS is either LA, New York, or even in some lesser than case Miami. And you notice I didn't put Inter Miami on this list because I've heard that there's been numerous rumors that Inter Miami is not interested in them, and that I think even David Beckham says that I don't think he's interested in trying to sign Luis Suarez, and especially with also Inter Miami changing its philosophy of just deciding to sign some big name kind of player to get butts in the seats, to now just simply developing young talent to at least get themselves shape a decent core for the future. It just let me think that it's either him gonna go to New York or LA, and I know LAFC is not going to sign him either, because it would make no sense whatsoever with the way that they already have Gareth Bale and already have Chicho Arango, and despite the fact that there's been numerous reports that LAFC could potentially sell off Chicho Arango, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, that would be insane if LAFC decided to move on from Chicho Arango, as I've said many times before. So again, the only other team that I can see that it makes perfect sense is the Galaxy, because like I said, the Galaxy know that they're starting to lose that thruster, and started to lose that LA market with the way that LAFC are just the cream of the top in MLS, and they have all the talent. So why not? This is a way to kind of fire back to their rival, and especially get another goal scorer in there and put the pressure now off of Dejan Joveljic by getting a guys like Luis Suarez. I mean, I know that will also create a problem in terms of, well, what's going to happen? Is Chicharito and Luis Suarez going to play in that two striker system, and whether if that of course would work. The bottom line is that I think I mean, Greg Vanny already don't like to start Joveljic in that number 9 position, and even though it's been pretty much a slam dunk that Joveljic should start for the Galaxy game in and game out, because he's been scoring goals left and right, it's pretty clear that he probably won't, unless Greg Vanny decided to kind of finally put him out of the doghouse of not being able to start, and finally realizing that Kevin Cabral is not the answer for this team. So yeah, again, I think it would make perfect sense that Suarez would come to the Galaxy, and that we'll see whether if it does happen. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this video, and what do you think are the 5 teams that most likely is going to sign Luis Suarez from MLS. I mean, I know there's been heavy rumors that he could come to MLS, but there's no guarantee of that could be the case, because there's also been rumor that he could maybe go back to South America, go back to his native country to finish his career. But again, the Luis Suarez kind of fever is definitely reaching an all-time high, and I am very interested to see the day when we finally see a team that's going to sign Luis Suarez. And especially if that day does happen, I am going to make an individual video talking about that. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys to like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.